Hey guys, welcome back to Homeschool. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new here, I'm Christina. I am a working homeschool mom of 5 children, ages 1, 2, 5, 9, and 13. I've been getting a lot of questions over on my Instagram and here on YouTube asking how we are making it work with me being back to work, teaching in person full-time. I've been hesitant to share on this too soon because we are still figuring it out. But we have a full month in now with this new routine and this new schedule, and although we are still figuring it out and working out the kinks, I figured I would just share with you how it's going so far. So what's working, what we're doing, and what I would maybe change in the future. So it is a Sunday night, and I do a lot of my prep for them the next day, the night before. Now, every other night other than Sunday, it's a little bit quicker than what I'm going to show you tonight because I only print like on the weekend. So typically everything I would need printed for them for the week would already be done on a typical weeknight. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys, so I figured I would show you what I do on Sunday nights. I have done some homeschool prep with me videos in the past, but this one's going to focus mostly on what I do in order to have them prepared to do things while I'm gone, and then I'll tell you like what they do while I'm at work and what we do when I come home. So because it's Sunday night, I did print everything. Now I will tell you, I printed just randomly, like I didn't just print all of this. I printed, like I clicked print on things today and throughout the day yesterday. So I just kind of let them sit there until I was ready. And so I will set up their binders, and then I'll show you what I do on Sunday, but then also what I would do on any other night to have them prepared for what they need to do for the next day. So this is going to be part of probably a little mini series that I do on my channel because I've also had requests for a working homeschool mom, a day in the life. So I have not done a day in the life since I've gone back to work in person full time. So I will do that for you guys either this week or next week, just to show you like how this all actually plays out during the day. So over here in the corner, I have my homeschool cart, and this is where we keep mostly everything. But one thing I did start doing, and I may or may not keep it this way, is on this chair, which doesn't really get used much at our big table. I just have this bin, and this is where I'll typically put like the book that they're currently reading, where I put the clipboard once it's done, which I'll show you how I use the clipboard, and then like Gia's sight word pouch, which I need to just like reorganize really quickly, and just little things like that. Jackson's math book is typically in here. So I probably will reorganize the homeschool cart for next year so that we probably won't even need this, but I didn't want to reorganize the entire homeschool cart this year. And what I was doing the first couple weeks, and some days I still do this, I would literally just put this out on the kitchen table with the clipboard here first, which I'll show you guys once I finish that, so that they see like everything they need for the day that they need to work on. But again, I may change that to just have the homeschool cart organized in a way that we don't even need to utilize this bin. So I just moved this over because I am going to be using their binders, but I will just show you. So usually I would take out the ones from the week before. So this was just Wednesdays. I didn't do it on Friday. I don't know what was happening last week, but sometimes I just end up texting them everything if it really gets like that hectic and I don't get to do this, and it still works out just fine. So not the end of the world. So typically like I'll just review and make sure there like wasn't anything that we didn't get to, anything that I want to mention for them, and then I'll just kind of toss these and then I just start fresh. And then in my planner, which comes back and forth to work with me, I always have printed out extras of these. And so this is what I use, and the reason I've stuck with this is because this is what we've been using almost the whole year, so I didn't want to change this up. So I just changed up some of the way that I write on it, but I kept this the same in terms of the clipboard because I was previously working and teaching virtually from home. So I did still fill out this clipboard, and I would give it to them in the morning because that way, like when I started out my first couple of hours in the room teaching, they already knew, like everyone knew what they needed to do until it was time for me to come out for my break. I had a nice long 2.5-hour break in the middle of the day. My lunch and my preps were just kind of like set up that way. And I would make up that prep time like later on at night and things like that. And I used that chunk of time in the middle of the day to get the bulk of our homeschooling done. And then we would do some after I finished work for the day as well. So I put in my little sheet on the clipboard. I write in the date. So I would flip to in my binder. So this just goes to show you how much this gets written in throughout the week, like a ton of stuff, because this is also where I record keep. So I write down like what they did end up doing independently and what we did end up doing together. I also have a very small section where I'm like planning for my students at school. And then the left-hand side, this is just like random reminders for myself. And then over here, this is kind of like my planning. There's like a section for like a shopping list and all of these things. And I just change up what I use those for. And I'll kind of show you a close-up of that later. So the first thing that I do for the week is I make this list, and I always do it right here under where it says shopping. And sometimes I cross that out and just write this week's learning goals. And so already last week I started writing down like make flower watercolors, because we're going to make watercolors out of not these flowers, but the darker purple ones that we have. Garden bin life cycle review. And then I will also write down like we are going to do artists lesson 5 and artists lesson 6. We are at a place where our sweet spot for our gather round unit studies right now is 2 lessons a week. Our first 2 lessons out of the unit, we actually did 1 week. And then last week we did lessons 3 and 4. And then this week we will probably do lessons 5 and 6. But even if we only do 5, like I'm not stressing it. So I got these really beautiful manipulatives. Some are math, some are like Spanish flashcards, and then from Thistles and Biscuits. So I'll link that below. It is an affiliate link. And if you use Rooted 10, you can get 10% off everything in her shop. Everything she creates is absolutely beautiful. She has tons of multicultural unit studies in there. She has nature studies. She has math, beautiful math manipulatives, like so fun, like totally buy-in for me in terms of teaching math. And then also lots of different languages. So we want to start Spanish next year. So I started to get some of the Spanish flashcards, and that was one of the other things that I want to put down were the Spanish flashcards. So we'll start those at some point this week. And then the artist fraction cards. And I'll show that in another video because it is absolutely beautiful. So be on the lookout for that if you're looking for like math manipulatives, like beautiful, artistic, creative ways to like infuse fun and art into learning math and all of those things, like super hands-on stuff. So I will do a video on that in the future as well. And then if we don't get to any of this, it's not a big deal. Like I just put it on the next week. And then obviously like we'll be continuing our caterpillar studies with Exploring Nature with Children. So it's caterpillars week 2. So that's that. And then that's basically where I keep my list for things I want to get to throughout the week. Now I do not plan out my whole week. Some things I may put on a certain day, but I always do it in pencil because I change things like by the day, depending on what we did that day. I might even just come home and say, you know what, scrap that, we're gonna do this. So I stay really flexible with that. So 5, 10, 21. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up their binders. And then as I'm doing that, I'm also going to be filling in what they'll do from their binders on the clipboard, and then I'll show you that when I'm done. So I'm just sorting and getting ready their binders and just taking a look at what they did last week and then figuring out what pages I want them to do for Monday. And then I'm writing that on the clipboard for them so they know exactly what pages that they need to do. I'll also write it on a Post-it and stick it in there as a bookmark so they can just flip to the page and it tells them what pages they need to do and it matches up with what's on the clipboard.
smile since December. Ripped your heart, got a brand new one since you got lost in November. See it in your eyes when we leave for the night. Way too many heartbreaks still on your mind. Let the flame burn down for a while. Let the frame blur out for a while. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment with me. Give you a moment. Give you a moment with me. Smell all the roses. Smell all the roses with me. Just give you a moment. Stay in the moment with me.
So up here in the top right is where I usually put like their chores and just things they need to do other than schoolwork. And then this main section, they have to do their math and their reading. They log their reading just kind of casually at the bottom just to keep them accountable. And then I gave Jackson his pages in our unit study, and then the same for Justice, and then Jackson's math, and then Gia has a little bit of work that she has to work on. And then they'll all work on a little bit of the Caterpillar study together. And then I did give like an optional bonus for the boys if they want to get ahead on that. And then this to-do section is really just the work that we'll do together when I get home, just so that they can kind of know, and it helps me organize. And that is pretty much it for the clipboard. And then I just kind of double check that I've included anything from my list for the week on the plans for that day. And then again, I'll fill in throughout the week what they get done independently, what we end up getting done together, as a way to sort of keep records of what we do. And then again, this is how full it ends up looking at the end of a week. My husband brought me some fuel, my little favorite acai smoothie bowls. And then I'll just show you, this is what it looks like for them. They can easily flip to the page so that they can find everything they need to do easily, so that they're not spending time trying to figure out where these things are that I've written down for them on the clipboard. So they know to check the clipboard first to figure out what they need to do for the day, and then that will line up exactly with what they'll find in their binder marked and ready to go for them. Okay guys, that's it. That is my planning for the week / for tomorrow. So pretty much everything is the same on any given night out of the week to prepare for the next day, other than the printing and putting that stuff in their binders. So just going through and assigning what they need to do each day and setting up the clipboard for them. And the one thing that I would change moving forward, probably for next year, is that I would not print weekly. I would print their main units ahead of time, or just order them in print, depending on which unit or which curriculum it is. So that is one thing that I would say would not keep the same. Everything else I think seems to be working pretty smoothly. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comments, and I will be filming a working homeschool mom day in the life for you guys pretty soon as requested. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click the notifications bell so you can know when we have a new video popping up, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Until then, stay rooted.